Devin Williams thought he was going to be traded to the Dodgers before he was traded to the Yankees. Kiké Hernández talks free agency. We've got an update on Teoscar Hernández and belly to the Yankees. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys ready to parade? We got a parade! The Dodgers postmark right after the championship. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor and subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. And if you haven't yet, too, we're going to drop a Discord pretty soon, too. So be ready for that. A Discord dropping soon. Follow us on the X. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on IG. And also, if you're going to join the conversation, drop a comment down below. Do you think that Teoscar Hernández will sign this week? Should the Dodgers consider Anthony Santander? What are your thoughts on Cody Bellinger joining the Pinstripes? Belly bombs going to the Bronx. We're going to talk about all that. And of course, every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live starts with the Dodgers Nation poll question of the show. It's kind of in my feels, thinking about some of these former Dodgers now that Cody Bellinger is headed to the Bronx. And I asked you guys over on the X, which is your favorite of these former Dodgers? 4 options. Could have thrown more in there, but I picked 4. Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, and Jock Peterson. And right now, 45% say Justin Turner, 16% say Cody Bellinger, 36% say Corey Seager, and 3% no love for Jock. Maybe because he went to the Giants. That's probably what it was. 3% say Jock Peterson. I'm going with Cody Bellinger, that bunch. You guys know I've always been a believer. Cody Bellinger, the moments, the MVP season, the stealing of Fernando Tatis Jr.'s lunch money there in the NLDS, the game-winning home run in Game 7 of the 2020 NLCS to complete the 3-1 series comeback, the bomb off of Chris Martin. I got to go Cody Bellinger. I will say Justin Turner is a close second. JT, the very first Dodger I ever interviewed in the Dodgers clubhouse. I'll never forget this. It was early. It was like 7:45. And I go to the Dodgers clubhouse. And I'm like, it's spring training. I'm like JT, can I have an interview? Can you answer some questions? And I'm just kind of nervous and stuff. And he's kind of pulling, still getting dressed. And he's like, hey, can you just wait a couple minutes while I put on my pants? Man, like, geez. And then I turned like really red. And he told me he was just kidding. And he answered all my questions. He was fantastic. And he's been awesome. He was awesome to me in his time with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm going Cody Bellinger there. How about you, Tony Taters? Who you picking out of that group?
I love them all, but I'm going to go with Justin Turner. I feel like I always say these stories, but I was at a game, Mets, Dodgers. The Dodgers were blowing up the Mets. It was like 10-2. And then all of a sudden, they're like, ladies and gentlemen, pitch hitter number 2, Justin Turner. And you just hear this whole family like, whoa, right here by the left field pavilion. And I'm just like, what the heck? And then word spreads around, oh, he's a local guy. He's from here. And I was like, dude, and this is before JT was a Dodger. I was like, just let him get a hit. But he struck out. But I mean, gotta love my favorite play from him on defense was his third base play when he tags out Austin Riley third base.
Underrated play.
Yes, sir.
Underrated play. Superman defense with championships. I think another underrated home run is against the Rays off Charlie Morton.
Yes,
because Morton had a lot of success against that lineup. The Dodgers still hadn't had that series really won. That was a big home run. How about you, Noel? Of that group, which of those 4 is your favorite Dodger of that group right there?
That's a really tough group, especially that top 3 with JT, Seager, and Bellinger. I'm going to have to go with Belly, though. I mean, just overall, he had the swag, superstar. That MVP season was super special. And then just seeing him perform all throughout 2020 en route to that ring, I got to go with Belly. Like I posted a little reel on Instagram. I said, no matter what, always going to be a fan of Belly, no matter where he goes. So shout out to him, man. He was that guy, a few years ago.
Awesome guy, great dude in the clubhouse, just fun. I mean, just his stares off into space after he robbed him. Now he's got to be like, wait, I got to shave every day. I mean, he's just going to be weird to see him. I mean, kind of what he did to our boy Bickford, the Yankees. They kind of massacred our boy, so that won't be fun to see. But, of course, we got a lot to get into, a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Every episode begins with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
Now, the hottest story in Dodger baseball is also a player that's related to the New York Yankees, and it is star reliever Devin Williams. A big trade in Major League Baseball. Devin Williams goes to the Yankees, but it looked like Devin Williams could have been a Dodger. And he met with the media. He spoke with the media today, and it sounds like he was fully expecting to be in Dodger blue.
I didn't really think so. I thought, I kind of thought I'd be going to LA. That was what I was being told. And, the Yankees snuck in there under the table and, got the deal done.
So that Antonio brings up right now, he just didn't want to shave that beard, right? I mean, maybe he was doing everything he could to be a Los Angeles Dodger, keep that beard intact. But look, I mean, the sound of that, the look in his eyes, it felt like he was packing for sunny LA, that he was going to join a team and be a pivotal reliever, a high leverage guy that was going to get big saves and come out there and pitch in big spots to help this team go back to back. Instead, he goes to the team that the Dodgers beat in the World Series. And I think the big question here is, what do you take from this and how it relates to how the Dodgers are going to operate after this? Because look, it's no secret. The Dodgers were interested in Devin Williams. The Dodgers had communication with the Milwaukee Brewers about a trade with Devin Williams. Who was it? Was it Gavin Lux? Everyone always assumed that just because of the connection to Milwaukee, since Gavin Lux is from Kenosha, Wisconsin, that it was a Gavin Lux-centric trade. Was it some other high-level prospects? Was it one of the catchers that they need to trade to get off this 40-man roster? Was it a Hunter Fiducia? Well, I think all of that is very possible. But I think at the end of the day, the Milwaukee Brewers, they said to themselves, look, we're going to go with the Yankees because we want a starter with experience like a Nestor Cortez. If we compete in this division, fine. If not, we'll trade him at the deadline and we'll get some prospects that we can develop. But I think the Brewers, they're not naturally going to want to trade with a team in the American League versus keeping him in the National League with the powerhouse that is the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? So from that standpoint alone, you have to factor that in as well. And I think you look at Devin Williams, and there's no doubt about it. When he's right, he's absolutely elite. His airbender, one of the best pitches in Major League Baseball. It is elite as far as the stuff plus, as far as the movement, as far as the whiff rate. It's an absolute nasty pitch. Last season, he was great. A 1.25 ERA, a 2.08 expected ERA, a 2.06 FIP. The strikeouts per nine were at 15.78. He had a 43.2% strikeout rate in 2024. But I think the knock on Devin Williams is the injuries. He has missed significant time. He has been someone that's dinged up. And then if you want to point to something else, you could talk about, yes, it's a small sample size, less than 30 innings, but a 23-14 ERA in the postseason. He gave that big bomb to Pete Alonso that allowed the Mets to go on that run to ultimately face the Dodgers. So, I mean, look, a lot of Brewers catch as closers. I mean, they have their ups and downs. I mean, Jeffries, I'll never admit, Jeffers. I mean, this is just one guy that had a little meltdown, and Hader and Williams, but still, we got Knebel a couple years ago, and he was effective for this team, but it just wasn't meant to be. But the most important takeaway from all this is now we know exactly, and we've already pretty much known, but now it's 100% confirmed. The Dodgers will not be happy with their offseason unless they go out there and get an elite, all-star, top-level, top-shelf, good night, slam the door shut, turn off the lights closer. turn off the lights, slam door shut, elite reliever you can put in big spots. Now, the Dodgers have gone away from, okay, we're going to get one guy the ball in the ninth, and that's it. They've gone away from that. You're still going to see them play some matchups, and you're going to still see them move some things around. But they know after seeing what happened last season that you can never have enough pitching, and particularly a lot of these games are won and lost in the latter innings where you're going to be using your high leverage relievers. Now, Devin Williams wasn't that guy, but I think the Dodgers end up on top. I think that I wouldn't quite call this dodging a bullet because I still think that Devin Williams is going to be great for the Yankees when he's healthy. There's no signs of slowing down for him. That airbender, like I said, it is nasty. That thing moves more than the military family, right? That thing is elite. But I like Tanner Scott better for this team because you already have Michael Kopech. You already have Evan Phillips. You have Brusdar Gratter will be back at some point next season. You have Alex Vesia. But to throw a rare power throwing lefty on the mound that can hit 97, 98 with the fastball, that has a dominating slider, misses bats, misses barrels, does issue some walks at times, but I think that you're going to see that improve with the Dodgers if he ultimately signs here. And if the Dodgers do end up with Tanner Scott, I like that better for this team in the sense that you would lock him up. He's a power lefty. The difference would be with Devin Williams, he was under team control for one more season, and Tanner Scott, you would have to give 2 or 3 years to. So the Dodgers would have to pay up big for a reliever. So really that's, I think, what it comes down to is that. But I do think that, hey, just look at Tanner Scott in the postseason last year and look at Devin Williams. Who would you rather face? We talked about Shohei Ohtani, how he struck out 3 times against him. So I like the fact that you're aggressive towards getting a reliever. And I think that, yeah, you're talking about Bentleys and Ferraris at this point. Both would be awesome to drive. Everyone would want both of them. But if you do end up with Tanner Scott, I like the way he fits this pen better than a Devin Williams. I really, truly do mean that in the sense that you already got Kopech, a power righty, and then Devin Williams, a right-handed pitcher, and Tanner Scott, someone who's great against lefties and righties, opponents hitting sub 200 against him. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers almost getting Devin Williams? Almost. I mean, I think for Devin Williams, got a feel for that guy too. He's got to go to the Yankees where he loses his beard. Doesn't go to the Dodgers. It's kind of like that meme, you know, where you got the face smiling, you know, and then underneath they're like crying and stuff. That's going to be Devin Williams at the press conference. He's smiling. Yeah, I'm a Yankee. Inside he's crying because he's not a Los Angeles Dodgers today. And he knows what that means. But let me know down below. Like I said, the Dodgers are aggressive. Dodgers are making moves. Dodgers are looking to solidify this roster in more ways than one. We got some more comments down below. Chuck over on the X, give you a little let's go Dodgers for that. We got Chuck says, I would love to know what the Dodgers actually offered for Williams to get that rejected. Yeah, so like I said, it's not apples to apples, right? Every team kind of gauges, okay, what's the best return and what's the best fit and how are we going to use that player. If the Dodgers did offer Gavin Lux, well, if that's the case, they would get Lux for 2 years of team control, and the Dodgers would be in a position where most likely you would probably move Mookie Betts to second base full-time where he wanted to be. You bring Tommy Edman in from center field, and you have him play shortstop. Miguel Rojas can play some shortstop as well. And then in center, you do have Andy Pages, who, as long as he hits, he can get better at that position. He's not a great center fielder by any means, but if he hits, you can justify having him out there. And then behind him, you have James Outman, who is still in the organization, still right there in AAA, that defensively, James Outman can play a great center field too. So that would kind of be the move if you did make that move. But right now, it's clear that the Dodgers are rolling with what they have with Gavin Lux, with Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman in center field. But Devin Williams, got to shave that beard. Who was one of the weirder Yankees to shave that beard? They massacred our boy, Phil Bickford. Not only did they massacre our boy Phil Bickford, they DFA'd him like quickly after. like 2 weeks after.
Yeah,
Just so
that's
dirty.
tough.
How you do to my boy Phil Bigford? Phil Spicoli Bigford. I just couldn't believe it. I think Randy Johnson was a weird one. Remember when Randy Johnson was with the Yankees? No, I'll give you the weirdest one of all time was Johnny Damon. Everyone they did to Johnny Damon, he kind of tried to grow those sideburns out.
Yeah, he became the anti-Red Sox Johnny Damon, literally. Oh my god.
I will switch this. Which Dodger would look the weirdest as a Yankee? I mean, Kiké, has some facial hair, not really. Teoscar would look really weird if he signed there.
Muncy without the beard.
Muncy without the beard, that would be pretty weird. All time, it'd have to be Justin Turner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Kopech without the beard.
Kopech, although he did look kind of clean without the beard at Mookie's thing.
That's true.
But that's light though. I mean, we're talking about you got to be like me basically. You got to baby face that thing.
It's also the long hair, like a player with long hair. So that's why JT would look weird too.
That's true. That's true.
But what do you think about that rule, Doug? Do you think do you like the no facial hair, no?
I
long
mean,
hair rule?
look, I know
timeless.
for me, I think it's silly. I mean, I think it's a rule that it's the Yankees are the one franchise that could get away from something like that, just because of the New York Yankees, all the history and the tradition behind it, and sometimes you do get some epic mustaches out of it, which is fine. But I think it's silly. But I mean, it's their organization. I remember back in the Cincinnati Reds, I remember used to have that same rule way back in the day. And Greg Vaughn went to the Reds and he had that very defined goatee. Yeah. And they let him keep it and he raked that year. So I'm just saying, I mean, Tony Gonsolin would look a little weird, Dustin May, not like these guys will look weird. Just like it's the ones where their beard is kind of part of their identity. You know what I mean? Who else we got? That's pretty much it. I mean, Chris Taylor has gone, pretty clean shaven at some point. But next, we're going to shift gears to Teoscar Hernandez. So we got a Teoscar Hernandez update here. And I know this is Teoscar Nation. I know we've talked a lot of Teoscar Hernandez, and I've been hot on the trail for info, talking to sources, talking to people. And the latest from Mark Feinsand on Teoscar Hernandez is that he's seeking a deal. He's seeking a deal where he's looking for $22 to $24 million per season. And I can say that that's confirmed. I mean, from my sources, I'll tell you that is the range where he's at. And the Dodgers know that. And the Dodgers were pretty close to that at one point. They were pretty close to that at one point. And then they kind of went backwards on the whole process as far as, look, that's how things go. I mean, when you look at these negotiations and how things go, I mean, sometimes the market changes, right? One player signs here, another player signs here, one player becomes available. So I think at the end of the day, I mean, that's the most up-to-date report on Teoscar Hernandez, $22 to $24 million per year. If you look at what that looks like for 3 years, that's reasonable. That's reasonable for Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, if he signed for 3 years and $66 million, if the Dodgers offered him 3 years, 66 right now, and then you worked some signing bonus stuff and you kind of work some other things, that would be enough to get a deal done, which is different than a lot of people were saying, which was 3 years and $75 million. That's not the case. That's not the case. So, I mean, I do think that, look, I mean, at that price, I mean, that's good money because you kind of factor this in. Look at last season. He signed a $23.5 million deal with $8 million deferred. Had you had offered him a 4-year deal last year, let's say you offered Teoscar Hernandez 4 years at $90 million last year, he probably, just knowing the market, seeing what his value is, seeing the year he came off of in Seattle where he had a down year, he most likely would have signed that deal and felt really good about it. So, look, I think the most important part is that they're still motivated to get a deal done. The Dodgers still want him back. Teoscar still wants to come back. So really, I think that's kind of the ultimate thing for my end, is just knowing that still exists. And then I did see a deal. There was a Padres radio guy. What was his name? You guys see him? They were saying that they offered him 2 years and $60 million or something like that at $30 million per season, something like that. That's not true. But what is true is that you still have to feel good about it if you are a Dodgers fan and the possibility of getting Teoscar Hernández back. Only thing, like I said, that I think would change this, and things do change this. I mean, kind of getting more involved in this and talking to sources, I think a lot of people that when the end game is not what a reporter was reporting at the time, when that completely changes, they always assume that whatever was originally reported was completely wrong. But really what happens is everything is extremely fluid and things can change. It's extremely complicated and nuanced the way it goes. But look, if they end up signing him for that price, I think you got to feel good about it if you're a Dodgers fan. You got to feel good about it if you're Teoscar Hernández from that sense. That's reasonable. That is reasonable. I mean, think about it. If Michael Conforto's getting 1 year at $17 million, Teoscar Hernández, certainly, even though he is 32 years old, a little on the older side, I guess, for prime free agency, that's still a reasonable contract for a guy that was great in the postseason, was great in the clubhouse, was great in the regular season, made the all-star team. So I hope they get this job done. I don't want to go past Christmas without a deal done with Teoscar Hernández, because I think the longer you wait, I think on both ends, it just kind of feels like if you want something and you know what you want the end game to be, it's kind of find a resolution, find a way to get pen to paper as soon as possible, because things can change. And I think with the Dodgers from their end, they're a extremely advanced organization as far as player acquisition goes. So they're not going to get into a bidding war for a player that doesn't exist, right? That's just not how it works with the Dodgers. They know exactly how much value a player provides. And yes, there's intangibles involved when it comes to Teoscar Hernández, but they know what they think he's worth. And I think it's just about getting close to it. And look, you just can't find proven clutch hitters, proven guys that are going to stay healthy, proven guys that meet and match this clubhouse chemistry. And like I said, I think one of the things too is, can he avoid deferrals, right? Because that's something that I reported, is him not winning the deferrals, him winning the deferrals low. Can he avoid that? And that's something that the Dodgers want to do, right? As far as signing guys, especially when it's a multi-year deal, when we're talking $50+ million in that range, you want to take advantage of that ability to do that. So look, I still think he's a key piece for this team. He's an absolute key piece, because with Teoscar Hernández in the lineup, you can guarantee 4 top-level bats, 4 of them. So when you can do that, you saw what happened in the postseason. Even if you have some scoring droughts, you can't keep Shohei down for long. You can't keep Freddie down for long. You can't keep Mookie down for long. And Teoscar Hernández, he is the glue to that. And I think that he means more to the Dodgers in this lineup because of everything we've described than he would potentially for the Boston Red Sox, even though I think he would rake at Fenway Park, that he would with the reunion with the Blue Jays, who ultimately did trade him when he was there. Chase your championships, chase your money. At the end of the day, I mean, look, throw in a lifetime supply of sunflower seeds if you need to. Okay, whatever you got to do. But Antonio, what are your thoughts on Teoscar Hernández? I mean the culture, right? Dodgers fans need him back in the worst way, don't they?
You know, just like I loved the bubble machine a few years ago, I love the sunflower seeds this year.
Yes.
I mean, there's no denying that the Teoscar Hernández brought, you know, every time I watched him bat, I was always smiling, more than not rooting, like, oh yeah, bro. But you know, hopefully they get a deal done. I'm kind of nervous. I'm one of those guys that's like, if they didn't get it done by now, I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's totally reasonable. I mean, you've seen activity this week. We've seen trades this week. Santander is still on the market. We're going to talk about him in a second. But yeah, certainly the fact that it's not done, and that's something that, look, I'll tell you one thing. The Dodgers could have signed him in the regular season. They could have given him a new deal in the regular season. Teoscar would have been interested in discussing an extension as the season progressed. And look, I mean, I think that's not really what the Dodgers do typically, so it's totally understandable. But you could probably have saved some money on the back end potentially. And I don't think it's that the third year. I really don't think it's that. I think that they need to go higher on a 3-year contract. I don't think that he would sign a 2-year deal. If he does that, he'd be signing, in my opinion, a below market deal that agents don't want to put out there, right? You don't want to sign below market deals. You want to move contracts forward. So I don't think that that's something that they would want to do. And look, as much as he loves Los Angeles, the Dodgers are going to stay patient, and I still feel pretty good about it. But let me know down below. What are your thoughts right now on Teoscar Hernandez? Pika Peep says 3 years, $72 million guarantee would get it done. 3 years tops for Ray Soto. And look, I don't think that the organization is balking at the idea of a 3-year contract. I just think that, I mean, look, they're clearly the Dodgers are active, right? Whether it be looking to improve their roster via trade, looking to pursue free agents like a Tanner Scott. And then Teoscar is also a part of that mix as well. The Poison Clan, give Teo his money. People forget how clutch he was in the postseason. Ruth Way, Teo wants no deferrals. Dodgers want deferrals. That's the holdup. That's from Ruth Way. That's not the whole holdup. I can tell you that as a fact. We got Shan Emerson. With the age of Teoscar Hernandez, I would pay him the $22 million a year. He's worth it. He's better than half the guys on the team besides Mookie, Freddie, and Shohei. I think the thing with the Dodgers, just kind of my personal take on the situation, is you're seeing things change very rapidly with how they retain talent, right? Before they signed Shohei and Yamamoto, they never signed a player for more than 6 years. They've liked the ability to have that flexibility. And when you're an organization that's vying for championships, and on top of that, today, by the way, is the anniversary of when they signed JD Martinez. And with JD Martinez, he signed him to a 1-year, $17 million deal. He got his career back on track. He went out there and he signed a nice deal. The Dodgers could view themselves as a model organization to stockpile top-end future Hall of Fame talent like they have with Shohei, Freddie, and Mookie, and Kersh, and these types of players. And Yamamoto, Glasnow, you go on and on, Will Smith. But then also, you leave that door open for the 1-year guys that it's a less risky signing, right? If you sign a guy to 1 year, no such thing as a bad 1-year contract. And also, he's extremely incentivized to have a great year. But I think Teoscar, like I said, for him to be back, he had to be special, and he was special with the Dodgers. Since 2021, his slugging percentage against lefties is second behind Aaron Judge. Just think about that. Just think about that and what that means. But some more, we got Sean Emerson. With the age of Teoscar Hernandez, I would pay him the $22 million a year. He's worth it. He's better than half the guys on the team besides Mookie, Freddie, and Shohei. History man 0828. When you win a World Series, you can pretty much do whatever you want. That's how a lot of organizations do things. Yeah, I mean, you make a fantastic point. Give you a little fire take right there with that one. And that's true. Look, I mean, you have equity, right? Who will, even if you're upset about a player not coming back or whatever it may be, this is an organization that just won a World Series with 3 starting pitchers and beat the best team in baseball outside of them in the San Diego Padres in the first round. And then you defeat the Yankees in the World Series. So, yeah, they have all the equity in the world with the fan base. Wingmaker, he wants at least 3 years, but the Dodgers 2027 year has a lot going on, and he needs to strategize for that Dodgers nation. Yeah, of course, this, you want to hit your service time of 10 years, which ultimately, no doubt about, get. Chilltown All-Star, Teo deserves the bag. He bet on himself. The loyalty shown would come from the Dodgers and should come from the Dodgers. Yeah, and it's a business. That's a thing. It's a business, and that's how you kind of have to wait for this. Now, next, we're going to talk about a player in the outfield that the Dodgers were linked to yesterday. Could they go after Anthony Santander? And we all know that that'd be kind of a crowded LA, because then you would have 2 Tony Taters in Los Angeles. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
What's up, guys? This is Noel here with Dodgers Nation, and unfortunately, I have a dilemma on my hands right now. You see, a lot of my family members and friends are Dodger fans, and they already have all the World Series merchandise. They got all the shirts, all the jerseys, all the hats, and I really don't know what I'm gonna get them this holiday season.
Don't worry, Noel. Our friends over at Dugout Mugs got you covered.
You know what, J-Rob? I actually have heard of Dugout Mugs here and there on social media, online. Can you tell me a little bit more about the products they have to offer and kind of what they're all about?
So Dugout Mugs is a Major League Baseball licensed product. They have everything from short mugs to tall mugs to even their limited edition metal mug, but they have a lot more as well. They have bottle openers, cutting boards, coasters, anything you need, even ornaments for the Christmas tree are all available at Dugout Mugs. Everything you need is over at Dugout Mugs.
I mean, everything just sounds really good. I'm completely sold right now, J-Rob.
If any of you watching this video right now want to have one of these type of mugs, go to dugoutmugs.com/Dodgers Nation. Use our official affiliate link with Dugout Mugs. Our link will be in the bio, in our descriptions, even maybe on this episode of Dodgers Dugout.
And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. Yeah, go get a Dodgers Dugout mug, sorry, and maybe get one of these one day. But yeah, absolutely go over there. We read some super chats, guys. Find our way down below. Yeah, let me know down below in the comment section. Are you getting fed up? Are you getting nervous? Are you getting worried? I mean, you over this Teoscar Hernández signing saga? Let me know. We got Francisco Diaz 199, Clayton Kershaw's 2013 opening day homer. Yeah, that would be Tony Tater's home run ball that he would keep. That was a super chat from yesterday, so I want to give you that love. Francisco Diaz 499. Dodgers don't get past the Padres without Teo and Kiké bringing Hernandez brothers back to LA. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that was the toughest challenge. There's no question about it. That was the toughest team. And Teo was big in that series. I mean, not only did he get a big hit in game one, he got the grand slam in the loss that I think gave them some confidence. He gets a big home run to give you a 2-run lead instead of a 1-run lead in a clincher. And that was absolutely massive. Runs were at a premium. He gives you a little bit of a cushion. We got Dog Werder 249. Do you think Teo is overrated by LA fans? Look, I like that question because we can talk Dodgers on the show. And sometimes we have some tough questions to answer. I think that every good player to great player to all-star player has the potential to be overrated because a certain fan base sees the intangible stuff. They see the other qualities that a player brings outside of just their on-field production, batting average, OPS and WRC plus and all those things. But I don't think that he's overrated by LA fans. I think that, look, I mean, sometimes like we've seen with some role players in the past, yeah, there are certain guys that if you look at social media, how they're tweeted about, you would think they were first ballot Hall of Famers when really they're bench guys or things like that. This isn't the case for Teoscar Hernández. Teoscar Hernández is a bona fide 2-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, a 30 home run guy, a 30-40% above league average offensive player when he's right. And then you add the clutch factor, you add the culture that he brings as far as just his essence in the clubhouse rubs off on guys. It really does. It's like one of those things where I think there was a lot of Dodgers teams in the past where things were very tight. The pressure got to them when the Dodgers trail in the postseason. Things were tight. Teoscar Hernández could be at the plate in Game 7 of the World Series with the bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes, down 3 runs, and that heart rate is going to be exactly like it is during a spring training game because he's cool, calm, and collected under pressure. Those are things that just don't show up in a box score, don't show up on a Baseball Savant page, don't show up on Fangraphs, Brooks Baseball, Baseball Reference, Baseball Prospectus. Okay, you get the point. But I don't think he's overrated by Dodgers fans. I really don't. I mean, just ask Dave Roberts and Andrew Friedman. I mean, they want him back. I think that overrated, I think, is, I mean, it's kind of a loaded term, really depends on what it is. I mean, like we were in Texas right now. I mean, Whataburger 100% is overrated. I'll throw that out there, right? But, okay, Texas, Max Muncy going to hate me for that. Max Muncy went hard on me for saying that once. But, look, I'm just messing around. But I don't think so because I think he fits a perfect role for this team. Got a $10 super chat. Teo 3 at 72K. Tanner 3 at 40K. What do you mean 40K? 40,000? What, a game?
He meant million.
Okay. Kiké at 5 million, Walker 2 at 32 million, Roki. I'll stack up my at left end for the team. Gonna give you a bro for that. Bruh. Appreciate the super chat though, Gap. All those look pretty reasonable. I think the Kiké one probably going a little more than that potentially. Walker Buehler, I think ultimately does sign a multi-year deal with opt-outs after each season. I think it's gonna be higher than that though. I think you see Walker north of 40 potentially, but I also look at the Frankie Molentaz deal he signed with the Mets, 37 million. I think at the very least you get something like that. I don't know, says we need Teo's toughness. Mookie, Freddie, Ohtani are a little too nice. That's just how they look. They're not nice. They're not nice to baseballs, okay? They're pretty mean to baseballs, especially the ones that go over the fence. Ralph Marquez, I think the Dodgers are still working on another deal for Teoscar to determine how big a signing bonus will be and how much per year he will make. Ralph Marquez. There's that. Or how did the Conforto deal and the Blake Trinan deal affect that? That's another way to think about it too. Now, switching gears, we'll talk about Anthony Santander. Because Mark Feinsand actually listed the Dodgers as a potential team for Anthony Santander. It's not a lot of smoke as far as the Dodgers with Santander, but let's take a look at what it would look like. What kind of player is he? Would he be worth signing for the Los Angeles Dodgers? Well, the first thing you need to know about Anthony Santander versus Teoscar Hernández is Santander is a younger player. He's a younger player, so that means he's looking for more years because you have hit free agency at a younger age. You set yourself up for a nicer payday. That's just kind of how it works. So the Dodgers, to get Anthony Santander, 100% would be looking at a minimum of 4 years, possibly 80 to 90 million in that range. The Yankees have been interested, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox. I mean, he does have a market for sure. And he's an interesting player. He's an interesting player because the things that he does really well can certainly help teams win baseball games in 2024. And that is he slugs. He hits bombs. Last season, Anthony Santander, he left the yard 44 times. So he's a 40-plus home run guy. Hit 44 in 24. Hit 28 in 2023. Hit 33 big flies in 2022. He has 155 home runs in 746 games, 3,115 plate appearances throughout his career. So he has hit home runs at a prolific rate. In fact, he's 19th amongst 364 qualified hitters with 154 bombs dating back to the start of the 2019 season. But that's the biggest pro. He does slug. If you want the dub, you got the slug. Yes, that's been the motto here. But there's a lot of variance in his game. And what I mean by that is the things that the Dodgers like, he does at a high level, hits home runs. But the things that the Dodgers also like, that's get on base, he doesn't do at a high level. A 310 on base percentage. A 310 on base percentage throughout the last couple seasons since 2019. And that would rank him 250th in the sport since 2019 for on base percentage. So hits a lot of home runs, doesn't get on base at an above average clip. He's not a great defender. If you look at his defense throughout the course of his career, he's been a below average corner outfielder, and the defensive metrics have continued to trend in the wrong direction. He is one of the slowest players in the sport. He basically runs at a catcher's speed. Think of imagine Giancarlo Stanton running is basically running with giving Santander a piggyback ride, right? That's really slow with the piano on his back. But Santander, I mean, he is in the 18th percentile in sprint speed, 20th percentile in outs above average. He's a -2 outs above average. Expected slug, though, 72nd percentile. Barrel rate, 79th percentile. Hits the ball hard at above average clip, 60th percentile, 41.6% hard hit percentage. Bat speed above average. Does not strike out at a below average level. In the 66th percentile in strikeout rate, even better with a 20% whiff rate, put him in the 77th percentile. Expected batting average, if you're a batting average guy, hit 228 in the 20th percentile. Not great, but this is a true slugger. This is a true power hitter, a legitimate 30 home run hitter on both sides. He's a switch hitter. So that really is the story with an Anthony Santander. Is he's a slugger. The biggest pro is that weighted runs created plus. You're looking at a guy who's been 19% above league average over the last 5 seasons. So you compare that to Teoscar Hernández. They're comparable in that sense. For his career, he's a 113 weighted runs created plus, 13% above league average. Last season, had a 129 weighted runs created plus and hit 44 home runs. So he was 29% above league average based on weighted runs created plus. How does Teoscar fare? Well, Teoscar, he was a 134 weighted runs created plus. So he was 5% better than Santander last season with less home runs. So the truth is, Teoscar is a better hitter than Anthony Santander. He just is. He's not going to hit 40 plus home runs, but he hits the ball harder with more consistency. You're going to see the doubles in there, and then you add the intangible benefits. So for me, I would not even consider a Santander signing over a Teoscar Hernández signing. I'm not saying Santander is a bad player or anything like that, but it's closer than you would think. But still, I mean, give me Teoscar all day, every day. He's been great offensively for 2 seasons in a row, has Tony Taters. But what would your nickname be? Would you guys have to share a nickname?
I would just be Tony Tortas.
Oh my goodness, he said it. I didn't know. I was gonna say Tony Tortas. I like. Do you guys like better, Tony Tortas or Tony Taters? For our boy Anthony Curiella. So let me know down below. But yeah, I mean, with the kind of the thing for him, like I said, the pros, hits a lot of bombs at a prolific rate. Cons, below average defender, very slow. He's only 32. He's 30 and he is very slow out there. Isaac Paredes kind of profile as far as the way they pull fly balls. But I think for me, interesting player, doesn't feel like a Dodgers signing. The upside isn't tremendous. Could help this team, no doubt about it, as a switch hitter. But this is a team that they're going to value some defense as well. And it's below average defense. As a whole, he's a net positive. But, I mean, it would be the biggest buzzkill ever. If they were to sign Santander and Teoscar Hernández would be another team's uniform. But if you want just a pure slugger, I mean, only Pete Alonso has hit more home runs, 120, than Santander's 105 in the last 3 seasons. Also, he's durable too. I mean, that's definitely something, but Teoscar is also extremely durable. Give me Teoscar, man. I mean, Santander could ultimately even sign like a 5-year, $100 million deal, potentially, based on how this market, everyone's going over projection. But let me know down below, what are your thoughts on Anthony Santander to the Dodgers? Mark Feinsand linked him to LA. Me, in the words of the great Randy Jackson, that's a no for me, dog. Give me Teoscar. Mr. Classic says, get Santander and Teo both ASAP. Now we're just talking crazy. I love it, though. Chili Town All-Star, Teo has the clutch gene. Santander, I don't know about that. Teo's quality over quantity. Yeah, and I also like the fact that less years and the aligning of Teo with Freddie, who has 3 more years left. Mookie has 8 left, but how many prime years left? Shohei Ohtani, at least another 5-6 prime years. I mean, who's to doubt Shohei Ohtani, right? But Teo perfectly aligns with this championship window for the Dodgers. Mike Saldana, Santander strikes out too much. He's actually above average in that standpoint, if we're being completely honest from that. And that actually is something that he has over Teoscar. Santander, he struck out 19.4% of the time last season. Teoscar struck out 28.8% of the time last season. I got to bring my facts to the fight. I love Teoscar, but I got to keep it a buck with you guys. Mr. Classic loves Santandy. I like that. Santandy. Santandyland. John Durrell, Robert over Santander. Well, now you're talking trades. I think Luis Robert, I would take him over Santander as well. Better defender, not even close, and is also someone that can play at an all-star level for sure. We got Joe May Santander on base percentage, very mediocre. Not even a single 3-WAR season. Now you're speaking my language for sure. Yeah, I mean, you look at Teo had a 3.5 WAR season last year, 3.5 F-WAR season last year for the Dodgers. Santander for the Baltimore Orioles, 3.3. Pretty close. Pretty close. I mean, they're comparable players as far as overall production, but once you get to the numbers versus numbers thing, and then you get to the intangibles, then it's a no contest. Dylan McKay, you can't really hide a poor defender at Dodger Stadium and corner outfield like you can in Baltimore. It's a fantastic point. Dodgers are pretty much a middle of the pack stadium as far as being a pitcher's park, but yeah, it can be cavernous at times, but the alignment, they make up for it no matter what. History man, and then there's nothing compared like the Giants or anything like that. History man 0828, I have Santander's rookie card from 2018 Topps. Lots of great rookies from that year. Mike Saldana, Santander is a great option. If Teo walks, he is an option for sure if he does walk and does sign with another team, but that would really be to the point, and I'm just telling you based on what I know, if they sign Santander, that means they're doing it because they're choosing him over Teoscar. That would be a choice as to where they're going to put their money, right? That's a choice at that point, for sure. Because the money you could use for Santander, Teo would 100% take and be back in Dodger blue. So I'll tell you that right there. Teo is a valuable Dodger to Dodgers fans because we know he's made a difference and a world champion, and the Dodgers are world champions because of it. Yeah, you love that right there. But coming up next, we're going to answer all your questions. The 7th inning stretch. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
The 7th inning stretch.
And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. Here on the 7th inning stretch, we answer all of your questions. Hopefully we get some fire takes. Let's see if we get some comments of the show. We're going to give out a comment of the show. First question, Joe Megazzani, what is the latest with Kiké Hernández? Well, I'm glad you asked because Kiké, he did an episode for the shop for their YouTube channel, and he talked about his priority this offseason and wanting to re-sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Main priority for me would probably be coming back. I think this team is, the Dodgers are very well positioned to, make another run and be the first back-to-back team since the New York Yankees in 99 and 2000.
You hear that? I mean, look, that's another player that's open about wanting to re-sign with this team. And that is the no-brainer of all no-brainers. Keektober is a thing. And you look at Kiké's stats and you're like, wait a second. How is a guy that puts up below average offensive numbers in the regular season? I mean, think about this. 83 weighted runs created plus. He had 229. So he's 17% below league average in the regular season. How is a guy like that a must re-sign? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's all about October for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And when October comes around, Kiké Hernández goes from a below average big leaguer to an all-star, to one of the most clutch gene having players that we've ever seen for this organization. You add the fact that he gave this team kind of their identity early on, as far as the we don't give a F. Are we live? Right? That was certainly something that I think took pressure off of the superstars. I really do. I think that having Kiké almost be a voice for this team it takes pressure off the big boppers at the top. And yeah, like I said, 17% below league average in the regular season. How is that guy a must resign? The answer is an 808 OPS in the postseason, a 294 batting average, big hit after big hit, big moment after big moment. My favorite moment is, of course, there's the home run in Game 5 of the NLDS, but he was right in the middle of the Game 5 meltdown for the Yankees, where, as Chris Taylor said, they crapped down their leg. Kiké was the guy who was on first base when the ball went to Aaron Judge, distracting him, just being on the base pass, seeing him in the corner of his eyes, and he kind of rounds third base when Anthony Volpe makes that throw to Jazz Chisholm, gets in his sight line, and forces the errant throw. Kiké is one of the most intelligent, savvy, gritty, gamer-type baseball players you're ever going to see. Fans love him. He should never wear another team's uniform. Not only do I want to see him come back, he needs to retire a Los Angeles Dodger. I hate the fact that the Banana Man split in the first place. So he knows what it takes to win a championship. And here, let's just look. I know I give you guys advanced stats sometime. Here's a stat that I like. The Dodgers have won 2 World Series since 1988. And both those World Series included Kiké Hernández and him having big moments. So, yeah, give me Kiké back on this team. I need both Hernandezes back in LA in a big way. This is not just me saying that. You guys know I'm the first person to say I don't want to bring back a guy if I don't think they're going to help this team win another championship, but he has to be back in LA. It's only a matter of time. I asked a couple insiders about Kiké, and every single one of them tell me that they fully expect him to be back with the Dodgers, and that right now you're just waiting for kind of the quote big boys to sign. And hey, he's a big boy for this team. That's 100% fact. We got some more. The 7 inning stretch. History Man 0828. Thank you, and God bless you, Doug McKain, for the hard work you do, giving us the latest news on what's going on with the Dodgers and the rest of Major League Baseball. I'll give you a home run for that. Love to hear that. Appreciate that. Carmen Alexander, how do you feel about giving Dalton Rushing a shot in the outfield? Look, I mean, that's the guy that I think certainly deserves an opportunity to make his big league debut this season, because when he comes up, he does give you a little bit of positional versatility, right? I mean, Austin Barnes is back. Will Smith is back. Of course, he signed that big extension, but he can play catcher. But as far as the outfield picture goes, I think the following season, depending on if they bring back Teoscar, will be more of his kind of runway type year with Conforto on a 1-year deal. But I absolutely think that you want to see Dalton Rushing this season. I think you also want to see Jackson Ferris, quite frankly, who was fantastic when he appeared on this show. Love me some Jackson Ferris. I want to see Jackson Ferris make his debut this year because he was a minor league pitcher of the year. Dalton Rushing, I want to see as well. And I think that you look at how we've seen the outfield picture just kind of shake out in recent years. It's usually by necessity. James Outman comes up in 2023, and he really makes the roster after some injuries. He takes full advantage, hits 23 home runs, finished 3rd in the NL Rookie of the Year voting. Last season, Andy Pages, he gets an opportunity to come up. He has success. So, yeah, you're going to have Chris Taylor back. You're going to have Kiké back. Both those guys get some outfield opportunities. Hopefully, by the way, Kiké is not a lock, but I still think he will be back. But he's not officially back, so I don't want to jump the gun on that one. But I do think that Dalton Rushing at some point, you certainly want to see him get his opportunity, and I expect it to be in 2025. Raymond Renison, $10 super chat. Let Lux go and get something for him, please. What do we miss out if he is gone? Answer, not much. All right. $10 super chat. Appreciate that. It's going to the Roki Sasaki International Bonus Pool Fund. But yeah, look, I mean, it just depends how you look at it. If you are of a believer that you get a version of Gavin Lux that you saw after the All-Star break, where he was a top 13 bat in all of Major League Baseball for about a 2-month stretch, that was playing above average defense, that has speed and can help turn over the lineup for the big boys, the MV3, then he does provide value. If it's the Gavin Lux that we saw early in the season, coming off the injury, struggling at the plate, then there's that. But I think as far as trade-wise, I don't think his value is as high as you would expect. I mean, someone asked me about overrating players. I think teams want to see a full season of Gavin Lux to truly get his value to the point where you include him in a deal where the player you're getting back can help you more than what Gavin Lux could have done for you, right? I mean, if they included him in the Devin Williams deal like he was rumored to be, then clearly the Brewers didn't view him as highly as some other teams. I mean, we don't know that. We don't know if they viewed him as highly as they view other teams' players, right? So they ultimately went with a different deal, but I still haven't 100% seen that confirmed or not, so I'm just throwing out there hypothetically. But I still think that Gavin Lux is someone that this team has given so many chances to. Last year, he really started to get comfortable in a role, and I think they want to see how that looks for an entire season, at least as of right now. We got Mixo Pillix, breaking news, Padres just signed Fat Joe to a 10-year, $100 million deal. There you go. It's the comment of the show. It's a bruh. There you go. Little bruh right there. $100 million. I'd pay him $100 million not to sing again. I'd pay him $100 million not to rap again at the start of a World Series game.
You just call him that one rapper.
That one rapper?
He didn't say Shohei's name, so you can't. Don't say his
I like
name.
that. That's a fire take from Noise by Noel. Let me give you a fire take.
We don't say his name.
We don't say his name. He's that one rapper. He's that one rapper, right? I don't know any rapper from the Bronx. We got break. We got that. Let's see that comment of the show. I like that one. Let's see about the Padres.
You win. Perfect.
We got Charisse. Teo stole my heart since his Buenos Dias Fanaticos video with Shohei Ohtani. Justin Lamas. I'll name my hypothetical firstborn son, Teoscar, just to get him and the old Thor back. Okay, you want the old Thor back. That's a bro, but I love it. YCB Productions, Dodgers Nation. I think the Dodgers will be realistic and will win until Andrew Freeman retires. Taco Salad of Ohtani had a beard. You would have seen the Yankees change that role in 1 second. Yeah, let's go. That's a home run right there. We got Adrian. Do you think Tony Gonsolin becomes a trade piece? I think as of right now, they want to see him back in the rotation, get something out of him, but it's very possible if you get Roki Sasaki and other guys emerge, maybe at some point, but I think he's more valuable to the Dodgers right now based on his upside and where he was at. But let's go down there a little more on some of those other ones. We got Mixelix. Would you play for the Dodgers at 3 years, $60 million, or Tigers at 4 years, $80 million? That's a good question. You're talking about a $20 million difference. I think it depends on where I'm at in my career. I mean, if I'd already signed a massive contract before that, I think that would come into consideration. But no, I'm about winning championships. And look, the Tigers did make the playoffs last year. Give me the Dodgers 60 over the Tigers 80 for sure. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and drop your comments down below. Would you see the Dodgers? Could you see them pursuing Anthony Santander? Would you like to see that? Is Kiké a lock to be back in LA? What are your thoughts on Cody Bellinger in the pinstripes? And look, his dad played there, won 2 championships there. We thought he was going to be on the Yankees for years now. Finally, he's going to be on the Yankees. He's going to take advantage of that short porch too. It's going to be good for him. But that's going to do it, guys. And anything breaks, look for us on X. Look for us on YouTube. We'll be going live within minutes. But like I said, that's going to do it for this episode. Remember, nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think